Hello, and welcome to my first fanfic reading. Today we will be doing Rainbow Factory. So let's go ahead and get started. There's long been rumors as to how exactly rainbows are made in Equestria. While a great amount of Pegasi ponies are employed in the rainbow department of the Weather Factory, almost all of them do the low-end work. What's now is that great streams of spectra, the individual colors of the rainbow, flow through large grates and into vast vats. From there, workers carefully and equally mix the spectra into the coagulated rainbow pools that dot and run through the factory and surrounding city. Next, that mixture is pumped to the floor below, where other employees atomize it and store it until the active weather Pegasi deploy in the field. However, no one knows how individual spectra is made. Supplies are never seen being brought in, leaving not even a clue what goes into a rainbow. Tourists, when visiting the factory, are treated to an extremely foreboding and plain wall, with solid doors barring entry to any pony at any time. While most of the facility's various signs and architectures bubbly and welcoming, the Rainbow Factory's upper floor was protected by harsh imagery of potential hazards and death, and the cloud wall was made not out of the clean white of the rest of the city, but of a black, quietly thundering fog. To become an employee of the Upper Rainbow Factory means sacrificing any life outside those black walls. Workers are sworn to secrecy and forbidden from leaving, and live inside the facility itself. Those few who ever managed to make it out, not in a body bag, were twisted and disturbed, too damaged to ever bring themselves to talk about it. A lot of theories were proposed: dark magic from captured unicorns, chemicals and environmental hazards that no sane pony would tolerate, and even thoughts of another unknown sisters of Celestias destined to create the spectra instead of raise a sun or moon. None of them could be farther from the truth, but a rainbow is easy once you get to know it with the help of the magic of the Pegasus device. "Come on, Orion, we're going to be late for our final test," Scootaloo called to a friend of hers. She was older now, in last year of flight school. She, like all the other Pegasus in the school, was terribly nervous of this final test. Those that passed were granted freedom into the world to find the cutie marks if they haven't yet and become working ponies. A little known, or at least little thought about fact, was of what happened to the fillies that failed their test. While uncommon, one or two from every class generally didn't have it in them to perform the rigorous acts and maneuvers. Those that failed their tests were looked down upon in the worst of ways, shunned and hated. Cloudsdale had always bred a form of nationalism amongst its occupants. If you weren't the best or didn't show the potential of being the greatest, you weren't allowed to be the part of the glorious collective. Scootaloo moved a little to the side as Orion, a tall yet fairly skinny pony, settled next to her. He felt his light brown feathers and gave a worried attempt at a smile as he stared around where he sat. They were sitting in the large open waiting room overlooking the Coliseum, with all the other graduating Pegasi. Just visible in the distance was a factory. Orion glanced at it and gulped. "What's the matter, Orion? You're afraid of getting a dead-end job on the Sinnoh line?" Orion chuckled a bit, then closed his eyes and said, "No, it's just, I don't know. I don't think I can do this. What if I fail? What if I don't fail, but do just bad enough to still be disliked by everyone? I don't know if I can take being deported. Where do we even go, anyways?" Scootaloo gave Orion a friendly punch. "No one knows, you dolt, and we're not going to fail. Everyone here is going to be fine. I know I'll at least pass." She laughed. "Thanks to the tips from Rhythm Dash, I'm sure to be fine." "Oh yeah, sure, then. That reassures me. That just as if not even more reassuring than the psychopathic hate every pony here seems to love to spread. Quit panicking, scaredy wings, Scootaloo replied. The only one here I think even might fail is that yellow pony and the dark green mane. She's the one who was sick for that month, you know. Oh yeah, Orion remembered as he craned his head in the other pony's direction. The one who had that bad case of hoof and wing. She looked pretty confident, though. I suppose we'll see. Scootaloo trailed, turning to look at the factory herself. It gave her chills, not of fear, but pride. I hope I get some cool active weather job. Can you imagine? Everyone in Ponyville or Philadelphia staring at me, going, there goes Scootaloo, such an amazing flyer. Amazing from Cloudsdale. There cannot be no doubt. She smiled in excitement, forgetting her tension for the moment. That could be something, I'll admit. Mind you, just coming from Cloudsdale, who wouldn't be in awe? Exactly. Praise the flock. Praise the flock. Places every pony. A massive buff Pegasus walked towards the entrance to the Coliseum. We're going to do this by name. Your educators are on the east side of the field. Do not, I repeat, do not fly too far west. If they lose sight of you for any reason, you'll be failed. Immediately take deep breaths. Stretch your wings one last time. The test will consist of 3 sections: weather clearing, agility, and finally recovery. Clear the clouds, fly through the hoops, and then fly to the marked elevation. Close your wings for at least 3 seconds. Any less and you'll fail. But keep in mind there's no extra points for extra seconds. Finally, recover before you hit the cloud floor. Understood? Any questions? The instructor paused and carefully glanced at every single pony in the room. Everyone's eyes were completely focused on him, and none were creased with confusion. All right, Aurora Dawn, you're up first. Clear, fly, fall, complete. The yellow pony nodded and walked quickly up to the starting ramp with purpose. She stared at the watching judges, waited for a nod from all 3, and then took off with a powerful force. The ramp bounced slightly from the force of the takeoff. Every pony watched as Aurora quickly reached the starting altitude, and then began a direct and purposeful attack on the position clouds. With expert timing and intelligent angles, the sky was soon empty of any moisture. Scootaloo and Orion watched with open mouths as they watched the first testy pull fast and tight turns, expertly shooting dead center through each and every hoop. Finally, Aurora pulled herself up to the proper altitude, hovered, and closed her wings. The group of students gasped as she started plummeting down towards the clouds and counted breathlessly. 1, 2, 3. They sighed as they watched her wings open in the correct amount of time, collectively holding that relief. Suddenly, Aura's wings whipped upwards, and the group of students flinched in horror as they heard the sound hollow snap, only to be suddenly replaced by an unending, piercing scream. Many, like Orion, shielded their eyes with their wings, and others, like Scootaloo, could only watch, terrified, as a blur of yellow, green, and red plummeted into the cloud with a dull thump. Watching no time, the instructor walked forwards again, and as the 3 judges simply pointed down and started shuffling papers around, speaking loudly as if nothing had happened, he called up again, Daisy Fields, clear, fly, fall, complete. Scootaloo and Orion stared slack-jawed as another pony gulped, then another forwards onto the path and took off. They turned back to the tuft on the cloud where Aurora landed and stared. As the wind blew through the fragments that were thrown up from the collision away, they saw the shivering yellow body attempt to move, only to collapse with a cry. Faraday spots. Clear, fly, fall, complete. Aurora still struggled to walk, wailing with every step. Her legs weren't broken. She could use them fine, but it was obvious the pain from her wing joints and the loss of her potential life was crushing her. Scootaloo felt Orion shuffle uneasily, tears welling in her eyes as a frown formed on his face. Holidays shine, clear, fly, fall, complete. No one's coming to help her, Orion seethed through closed teeth. Scootaloo felt extremely sad for the yellow Pegasus, but couldn't see herself helping her. She would be failed herself and sent away, far away from Cloudsdale and any familiar place in Equestria, to a place where she and any other failed students could never stain Cloudville's reputation. It was a terrible shame, but Scootaloo couldn't fail herself. She couldn't fail her friends, and she definitely couldn't fail Rainbow Dash. Not after the care and help she had given her Scootaloo's whole life. Okay, we're just gonna stop there. There will be a part 2 here soon. If we can get this video to 20 views, I will do part 2 in a very short amount of time after it hits 20 views. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.